Hey, this is Anthony Hannigan. Welcome back to musicmoose.org. We are going to bring on my good friend, the whiteboard over here, and we're going to explain to some of you beginning folks how various chords are going to work for you out in the field when you take your mandolin out there in the real world and you want to jam with some other people. This is pretty much a crash course on how everything is going to work. You'll hear this, especially if you travel around through Tennessee and stuff, you hear the 1, 4, 5. Some people I've noticed in the past will just now count out the numbers for you. So if you remember, over here is my section, which is the 1, and they're all flowing this way. And I have the 4 chord and the 5 chord with the relative minor over there. And for the beginners, we'll call that the wild card for now, because you'll be hearing a tune, and you're saying, what was that chord? That wasn't in there. And it's just going to be probably 90% of the time it'll be that chord right there. And I can almost guarantee you in country music, fiddle tunes, old-timey music, and in bluegrass, these chords right here are all going to be in the song particularly. Now, for instance, if someone says this column right here is going to be your root key. So number 1, the person who's leading the jam, they want to do a song like, say, Ball and Cabbage Down. They're going to do an A chord. Well, pretty much you know it's going to be an A. And these are going to be the chords that are going to be with it. Now, ironically enough, these are the chords that are with that song. So if I were to play it, A, D, A, E. Now it's going to be your job to actually learn the tune, to start really listening to the chord changes. And you can almost hear it. Definitely there's a change. I mean, there's an A. You can hear the chord changing right there, and you really got to start training the ears to pick up on those chord changes and kind of say, well, because it can also be like or I could switch over to a 7th right there. So you really want to listen for the chord when you're playing it and get into the habit of learning the 1 and what chords are going to be relative to that particular song. So now if somebody wanted to play, sometimes you'll run into a fiddle player that says, hey, I know Ball and Cabbage Down, but I played in D. So a quick fix for that one without transposing on the fly is say, hey, I remember Anthony told me if the song's in D chord, it's probably going to have a G and an A in it. I can guarantee you, it's in Ball and Cabbage Down, it does. Most of the bluegrass and fiddle tunes and the country tunes do. Some of the more contemporary stuff and the stuff that gets out there, they bring in the relative minor chords, like Rocky Top, for instance, is a great song. And what they do, it's notoriously known for dropping down to that E minor if it's based out of the G chord. A lot of the music, kind of even the gypsy music and stuff, a lot of the emphasis will fall back onto the minor chord too. And if you were to play the song in G minor or C minor or anything, you can add minors to all these right across. But just to go over it with you real quick, we have our G. We know probably the next chord is going to be a C chord, and your resolve chord is going to be the D going back into the G. The same with the C. If the song is in C, I can almost guarantee you it's going to have an F and a G. If it's in D, sometimes on the fiddle tunes you'll hear something just like a... They'll leave out the 4 chord altogether. They'll just use the 1 and the 5. And there's a lot of fiddle tunes like that are out there. But basically, to understand that if the song is in G, or if the song is in C, or if it's in D or in A and so on, these are a good chance that these chords right here are going to be in it. And understanding again the fretboard and where these chords are. G, and then we go right up to the C, and we just slide down. And what I'm talking about, or sliding up to my one friend out there who's listening real closely, when I am sliding up, I'm up to a D chord. Now I can what I just basically did was transpose the song. So now I'm in D, and I can say, wow, what are those chords, those other 2 chords? I know it's going to be D, G, or A. You can actually, what I hope to do is I'm going to type this up and also put this on the lesson as well. And I can't emphasize enough how important it is to read the text. We're completely off the cuff here and a lot of this stuff, and we go over things sometimes too much and sometimes too quickly. But what I try to do is type everything into the text below the actual video that you're watching, And what I'll do is I'll have a form on there too where you can download this, and you could probably shrink it up and tape it there in your mandolin for the beginners. A lot of the guys who are experienced have been playing this stuff for years. This might be a little boring for you, but it's also when you can expand this out, endlessly and start working chords around chords. And fundamentally, it's the very, very basics of playing along with other people. And I think it's going to be a great tool, because when I first started playing, I didn't have anything like this right here. It was pretty much going out and just knowing, actually after a year of playing, saying, wow, it's kind of wild like how all these chords work together, and they're all pretty much the same exact pattern. But when it really sunk in, it kind of sunk in quickly, and I was able to adapt. Well, get to know this. This will be your friend if you're planning on sharing your music with others. This is what you're going to need to take it out in the field. Thanks for joining us here at Music Moose. We will see you next time around. Moose on, everyone.